just loose. It's coming. Maybe waited too long. It's real. It's fast. Damn it!
Tim is expecting you.
Of course he is. I can't believe he's dead.
The way I look at it, the funeral proves it. Sorry I didn't see you for but a moment. The funeral arrangements needed to be made. You love it when you're in charge, even of a funeral. Oh, come on, Frank. Let's not fight. We're all scared. Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared for Janet.
Brother dear, you're scared for yourself. I just happen to be here.
We're scared for ourselves. We're scared for each other. For heaven's sakes, we're all friends. We have to keep our heads. What a fine choice of words, considering Jason lost his.
Was Jason really
beheaded? Yes. His head was ripped right off his shoulders. They're saying that's a maniac that did it.
Could have been.
You know better. We have the text he sent.
At night, with his imagination worked up, he could have thought a lot of things.
He imagined something that pulled his head off.
Touché. I guess I don't want to believe it.
Where the hell is Bobby? He wasn't at the funeral. I'm right here. Couldn't bother to come to your friend's funeral. Don't like funerals. Not that crazy about weddings or bar mitzvahs either.
I lack your sense of humor concerning this matter. It's my way of dealing. What I keep wondering is, if it was out, where is it now?
If what we've researched is correct, it's gone back to where it came from. For now. That's right, it's not strong enough yet, and we have to make sure it doesn't get any stronger.
Frankly, I'm not too anxious to have my head pulled off. I say we disband the organization and move to somewhere no less than 1,000 miles away.
We can move, but it can too. Eventually, like disease, it will arrive.
In the end, there's nowhere to run.
It's up to us to stop it. Our organization is all that stands in its way.
When we first started the organization of unexplained phenomena, I thought it was just a fun thing.
Like looking for Bigfoot and knowing we'd never find it?
Exactly.
But it didn't work out that way. Me, I was always serious. Thing is, here we are. So we have to deal with it. Ideas?
The best thing for us to do is to go out to where they found Jason's wrecked car. Remember, they also found what was left of Jason. Whatever was out there may not be hibernating.
From what I've researched, it's not strong enough yet to stay loose.
And if your research is wrong,
then I admit, we're screwed. Bottom line is, we're responsible for it being loose. And that means we have to set it right. So, is everyone in? I'm in.
Yeah, reluctantly, and with the understanding I may bolt like a deer. My God, it has to be huge. It could be the wind, a tornado. That could explain what happened to Jason.
That what you really think?
It's what I want to think. The old Whatley place is just beyond those woods, and you know as well as I do what killed Jason. And you know it could soon be loose. And not just for the moment, but for all eternity. We can talk, or we can do something about it. Shall we give the Whatley place a little visit?
My God.
It brought them here. It ate them, salvaged them, and piled them. But why?
It's a monster from another dimension, if you've told us right, Tim.
How does logic enter into its thinking? You have a point.
Question is, where is it?
It's invisible. It could be right beside us. Heavens, don't say that. It gives me the willies.
Not as much as this will.
It's gaining on us. If there are any horses under the hood you haven't whipped, now's the time. It's gone.
Confined.
For now. And soon there won't be a time limit or dimensional confinement. We should tell the cops, some kind of authority. And they'll believe us. We bring them here. They'll believe soon enough. Not if it slipped back into its dimension. And even if they do see it, they can't stop it. And can we? We have the Necronomicon. Actually, we don't. Alright, I was a little enthusiastic. But we know where it is. The Miskatonic Library. Oh wow, that is just like having it. So you're suggesting we break into the library? In a manner of speaking, yes. Now, how in a manner of speaking, do we get a hold of the Necronomicon? It can't be checked out. It's under glass. I'll come to that. This is the first book that showed us how to access what's beyond the veil. So we have to go through one of your lectures. Call it a review. I cursed the day you showed that book to us. Almost as much as I cursed Wilbur Whatley's notes. Whatley relatives didn't know what they had inherited. Essentially, that was a falling down house and a barn and a bunch of dusty books. Correct, but I knew what was in the books. They didn't. Without Wilbur Whatley's papers and notes, the books meant nothing to them. After they sold the tractor and the farm supplies, they might have tossed those books or given them to some second-hand store. Most likely this stuff would have been thrown out, burned. I wish it had. I, like everyone around here, had heard the rumors, the stories. But when I read Wilbur's notes, and then the books, it all came together. And then we all came together. It seemed like a game then, something fun. It wasn't. And now with Jason dead, we should stop. We won't let it into the world. With Wilbur Whatley's notes, we can send it back from whence it came. Whence? Because of the old way those old books are written, it seemed to fit. When we were having those rituals at the Whatley farm, I never thought anything could actually happen. It seemed like a lark. But you, Tim, you always believed. So why did you want to do it? Because like the mountain, it was there. But after you climb a mountain, it doesn't eat you. I thought I could control it. You were wrong. But with the Necronomicon, I think it can be controlled. I discovered that not only does the Miskatonic Library have a copy of the Necronomicon, but according to the website that discusses rare books, it was falling apart. So guess what they did? They scanned it into a file. Exactly. A week ago. It was the old. The spine was broken and the pages were loose. The idea was to preserve it. No one knows exactly what happened, but the assistant who copied the book became ill. Very ill. But before they carried her off, she set fire to the original book. The theory was she scanned the book onto the computer in a flash drive. But when she recognized the evil of the book, she destroyed it. She encoded the file and swallowed the flash drive. No one wanted to wait around the toilet to see what she passed. Besides, she died that night. No one could explain it. She kept raving about something from beyond. Whatever it was she read in that book, it drove her mad. And before morning, she was dead, and the flash drive, or rather the thing in it, had gone back to where it came from. You mean the information itself became an entity of some sort? Seems that way. Didn't we see what she saw? And if so, why aren't we mad? I think what she discovered in the Necronomicon was much worse. And no one has cracked her computer code to know for sure. No one until today. That's confidence, since you haven't tried yet. They hired her for what she knew about computers. My guess is they hired her because they knew nothing. But you do. On the nosy, she had come up with something quick to secure it. Whatever she saw, she knew shouldn't be revealed. Her code had to become something simple and associational. She had to do it, even as she was beginning to go mad. Why not the name of the man who revealed the monsters in the rest of the world through his meticulous research? I suggest everyone look away. I'll transfer it to a save file. Oh, God. Damn it, Janet. Horrible. The symbols, they move. They make you see things. Horrible things. I only glimpsed them. Oh my God. The librarian. She saw too much. She saw inside of things. We'll have to find a way to know what's inside the book without looking at it directly. Good luck with that, buddy. If we take mythology as our guide, there just might be a way. Say what? What the hell is he talking about? This. Perseus couldn't look at the Gorgon Medusa directly, but he could see her reflection in his shield. Exactly. You're not as dull as you look or act. You're sure? Nope. But I advise everyone to look away or look in the mirror or shield. On second thought, it might not work. Let me chance it. sakes. Don't look. Don't look, even with the mirror. Almost too much. You saw what I saw. More. But the mirror saved me. What I saw could maybe be manipulated. If we used the book right. The true source of power. It's the book that Wilbur Whatley was trying to lay his hands on. We could make it worse. My friend, it couldn't get any worse.
Famous last words.
Things are far worse than I thought. Now that I've seen behind the veil, nothing is as it once was. What were the Whatleys thinking, letting this thing out? What were we thinking when we let it out? No, let's put the blame on who it belongs to. Me. Timothy Henry Amitage. Maybe there's something in Wilbur's notes I've overlooked. Something safer than using the Necronomicon. Something I missed.
Ignai, Agnal, Tafugna, Yaksathoth, Yabthunk, Hayamogurgulak.
Daughter, behold the son of him, your son. You have been wedded and bedded and given birth, all in one glorious night. Such is the miracle of him, the great Yog-Sothoth. Stop that crying. Look at it this way. Who else would have you? It's better to be a queen in hell than a hag on earth. I know my mother, but not my father. When I was 13 came Halloween night. My mother, Ariana, disapproved. Something called to her. I could hear it. Grandfather could hear it. The call wasn't human. It wanted her, and it took her away. She's gone, boy. A hound has called for her. She ain't coming back. God, you're nearly as ugly as your father, and I mean that as a compliment. We are going to make sure the gate remains open. Make sure your father comes through to stay. Grandfather made me read everything available on opening the gates to let the old ones in. Grandfather had grown too old. His sight was nearly gone. That didn't stop him from trying. The spells opened the gates, but they didn't keep them open. Sometimes it came free and walked the earth. It ate, and the weakness of the spell forced it home. It couldn't hold its place here in our world. Grandfather decided that only the Necronomicon could bring my father through to our side. Grandfather is sending me to acquire the loathsome book. When I have it, he may not be as happy as he hoped. Yog-Sothoth, Ugjalat, Yatin Loden. Shit! Later. Oh, hell no! Jesus, what is that?
Something flushed down from Hill's toilet.
That's some messed up stuff. What is that? That stink!
If anyone asks, the dog got him.
The dog? And what did he use? Gasoline and a match?
That's our story and we're sticking to it.
Now I get it. It was right in front of me, the whole time. Wilbur wasn't trying to bring his father through. He was trying to find a spell that would close the gate. A spell from the Necronomicon? Yes. If he was closing the gate, what killed him? A hound.
A dog?
A hellhound. Not a dog. A creature. From the old ones. They can slip through where the old ones can't. How did anyone know that mess was Wilbur? My grandfather found Wilbur's identification. Grandfather said old Whatley seemed more disappointed than devastated when he told him.
Damn fool!
After that, young girls went missing.
Yadar Sundag!
No one knew for sure what happened to them. Many thought old man Whatley was responsible. My grandfather, a scholar of esoteric rites, certainly thought so. My grandfather thought Whatley was trying to make a new connection with the old ones. Wilbur had disappointed him. Wilbur had not been enough like his father. A new child was needed. I think Wilbur was actually trying to stop the thing. The old ones knew it, and they sent a hellhound for him.
No, don't cry.
My grandfather kept watch when he could. He thought the constant expansion was to house something that kept growing. But he couldn't be there day and night. He later concluded that whatever was inside escaped. Old man Whatley didn't survive his departure. No one tried to find out who killed him. My grandfather had a pretty good idea. Whatever was in those buildings went out into the world. Tracks were seen, and people and animals came up missing.
Untat Rodal, Son Roden.
He used the knowledge from the book to make it visible.
Renton Sagoth, Yorton Yong Sagith, Sotonen Untut, Sagoth Roden Retant.
And then, when it was visible, He used the knowledge of the book to send it back.
On Sothoth!
But even though he couldn't seal it there, it could always be reformed, always be brought back. Because Grandfather couldn't figure out from the book how to close that gate forever. So all we can do is temporarily seal the gate. I think Wilbur found a way to seal it for good, or thought it did.
Using that book?
I think so.
It didn't work for Wilbur.
No, it didn't. But he may have been missing a component or two.
And what would that be?
I'm working on it. And I'll have to hurry. It's pushing the boundaries. And pretty soon, it won't have any more boundaries.
It's gotten bad enough they're closing the back roads.
But there's no one to enforce it.
My guess is the law has gone into hiding.
Makes them smarter than us.
They're explaining all the murders as a work of a band of psychopaths. Satanists.
For them, it's the only logical answer. And for the record, it's worse than Satan. It's real. Worse yet, it's our fault. My fault. I knew this could happen. My grandfather had experience with this thing. You all thought it was a gag, and I let you.
For the record, it's all our faults.
Actually, Tim, I do in fact blame you.
Tim's fault, our fault, no one's fault. It's there, and we have to stop it.
It's protecting itself. From what? What could possibly bother it?
It's a living weapon of mass destruction, but it has weaknesses.
What weakness could it possibly have?
Like a puppy, it plays hard, then naps.
But it's getting stronger. Soon it won't matter.
Rest won't be necessary. Ever.
So how do we get across? Jump?
Not hardly. For it to cut a rift in the ground like this, it has to be big, and growing bigger. It's possibly resting now. It can get about in daylight as it's stronger, but it doesn't like it. What bothers me is that you said probably.
If it were awake, we'd already be toast. It doesn't know from human, does it? Doesn't care. Though I suppose it found the yard gnomes a tad disappointing nutritionally. What about those things you call the hounds? We have to deal with them too. They are all one with it by now, so yes and no. The fact that they have merged just makes it worse, and the news just keeps getting better. This will do. Come nightfall, we'll be ready.
Nightfall? Didn't you say it was stronger at night?
I did, but so are the spells. And I think it's a good guess that it's inside of what's left of that barn.
All of it?
Not hardly. It's like a full-grown man under a baby blanket. It's just not visible yet. We'll need to draw a circle. One of you sprinkle that box of bone ash in the circle. Make sure there's enough for all the way around. Certain pages are missing from the Necronomicon, but those are luckily spells and incantations that aren't in the other books. Each of you will have something to read. I'll read from the Necronomicon because I can translate. The books you'll read from are in English. The lines are marked. Bobby first, Frank second, then me. After I finish reading, the last few lines are yours, Janet. Soon, the shit hits the fan. The idea is not to get too much of it on us. Now, everybody up. Once I have this drawn, try not to mess it up too much. I have a hard time believing spells will stop a dimensional monster. Actually, what seems like spells is science we don't quite grasp. Geometry is involved, and so is... Tim, forget it. It'll work or it won't. Desiccated frog testicles, right? Dried snake feces.
I hope this keeps it out.
Being my first attempt at this kind of defense, we'll soon find out. What if he's not in the barn? Frankly, I hadn't seriously considered that. Holy hell. Be alert, stay in the circle, and know it shifts its shape. Bobby, you might want to start reading now. This isn't all English. You said it was in English. English letters. Sound it out, Bobby, sound it out. Gentoma, Yogsa, Yaga. It's working. It's a temporary holding spell. How temporary? Until Bobby quits reading. Then you have to read, Frank. Read, Frank. Read! Ugh, Frank, read! The spell's breaking! Frank, read! Ota, Yoga. Damn! I can't! Yogsa, Fragagan, Gia, ya, ha! It's frightened. Not exactly. The spells, they drive it away, but just long enough for it to go stronger. What the hell, Tim? Our friends are dead, and you made it stronger? It's a process. Tell Bobby and Frank that, you son of a bitch. It has to be more powerful before the Necronomicon will affect it. Then read, damn it, read! When I finish reading, the circle will break. We'll need to run. Run real fast. What about my part, my reading? There has to be a bit of a gap between when I finish and you start. How much of a gap? About 10 seconds. That's a lifetime. That's the way it works. Let's regroup. Read! Fanuli, Magwana, Yagsa, Relaya, Wignago, Fatagan. The circle's breaking. Run like a bastard. Now? Not yet. Shit. Read it, Janet. Read it. God damn it. Damn it. Leg broken. Now, Janet. Now or never. Igtad Gantof. Ugu Mctufter. Sogtothit. Goodbye, you horrid piece of shit. And may the heavens keep you.
Hey guys, if you liked this video, please give it a like and a comment. It really helps the channel and I love to read through them. And subscribe so you can keep up with all the uploads. Also, please consider becoming a Patreon. The support helps me make more time to make more videos and upload more often. The link is in the description. If a monthly donation doesn't suit your interest, consider giving a one-time tip to my PayPal. Link is also in the description. Thank you for watching. Till the next time.